first up, we're going to be talking about Radu Dragusin and this agent that literally just never shuts up. He never shuts up. He annoys me so much. And he said after the Romania game, he says, Dragusin is ready for anything. He is not afraid of competition. I'm not worried because such a strong defender cannot be stopped. His growth cannot be slowed down. Tottenham have placed their trust in him already. And that was on a question talking about, do you think with Spurs signing a new defender or looking to sign a new defender, does that worry Dragusin? And obviously it doesn't. But what annoyed me was this comment. He says, today my partner told me they were Napoli scouts in the stadium to watch Dovbyk. Maybe they saw the game that Dragusin played. I mean, like, does this guy ever shut up? I mean, Dragusin needs to sign a new agent now because it's getting too much.
He's just joined Tottenham. He's just joined 6 months and he's already looking at Napoli. I know Napoli were interested, weren't they, when we signed him? But the fact that he's saying, why would he be implying Napoli looking at Dragusin? Why is he even saying that?
He's looking for another paycheck, Sim. That's it. Simple as that. He wants another deal for his player, doesn't he? That's it. And it's doing Radu no good at all. You know, when he's getting mixed up with this and thinking, oh, Italy, maybe Napoli, that's no good for him. He needs to be focused on Spurs project and winning things with us. So hearing this guy come out with that, I think it's just...
He needs to shut up this.
He really does.
Agent,
sign a new agent now. There's a nice agency in North London called CAA Base. I think you should join them, my friend. But let's talk about Weston McKennie. As Peter O'Rourke broke this morning, Tottenham have hijacked Aston Villa's deal for Weston McKennie. Spurs are now in pole position to sign McKennie, with talks taking place with Juventus over a £15 million deal to sign the USA international. But thankfully, 3 journalists, Ali Gold, Fabrizio Romano and Matt Law, both came out pretty much straight away and says Spurs are not signing on working on a deal for Weston McKennie. There is no interest from Spurs for Weston McKennie. And I feel like maybe the news from Peter O'Rourke was probably put in the press from Juventus to try and hurry up this Aston Villa deal, because there has been a few delays in it. I think something on Weston McKennie's side, or maybe even Aston Villa's side, have slowed this deal down, and they're trying to get a deal over the line for Douglas Luiz. So it was probably just a bit of gamesmanship from Juventus, this one.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made any sense for Tottenham to be interested in him. I don't know where he would fit in. He's not really number 6. I don't think he's better at all than the players we have there. Although what I would say is, a few years ago, we would have been quite excited about the prospect of Weston McKennie. He has fallen off quite badly over the last few seasons for one reason or another, but I do think there is a good player in there. I do think 15 million for him, for a team will probably be getting, if you can get him back to his best, that could be a good deal. I just don't think Tottenham right now, it makes sense, because where would we even play him? And it's a bit of a nonsense suggestion that we're going to go sign Weston McKennie 50 million. We've got Sarr, we've got Bentancur, we've got other players there. So it was, for me, never made any sense. We're not going to play him to play the number 6 role, are we?
You know what really turned me off McKennie, because I liked him before this, was his loan move to Leeds. I felt like he went into that Leeds team and he was found out consistently time and time again. I thought it was a terrible loan spell. I thought he was pretty shocking, to be honest. And it felt like the Premier League was a bit too fast for him at that time. Maybe, that was a couple of years ago now, so maybe he has come along a bit more. But I don't know. I just wouldn't want to sign Weston McKennie. That's for me. Are you interested?
No, I'm not interested. And I really agree with everything that's been said here, really. I just think our midfield is packed out as it is. I still don't think Ange knows his best midfield. So why would we even start looking at someone it's not like he's better than Sarr or better than Bentancur or better than Basuma. So yeah, just stay away, really.
Next one we're going to talk about is Conor Gallagher. The Evening Standard, Nick Purewell, is saying that Tottenham fear Conor Gallagher could be difficult to prize away from Chelsea this summer. Gallagher is understood to want to stay at Chelsea and fight for his future at his boyhood club. Obviously going into the last year of his contract, a lot has been spoken about in the press between Spurs, Conor Gallagher, Aston Villa. We always said it. We think it would probably be a very difficult deal to do, and that's what it seems like from the Evening Standard.
I've always got the feeling that Gallagher wants to stay. I never felt he wants to leave at all, to be honest. It's always been about Chelsea wanting the money for him because he's not signing a contract and because of their PSR issues, and them wanting to sell him. So for me, it was always going to be a difficult one to convince Gallagher to come to Tottenham, and also convince him to come on the wages that we're going to want to pay him. So for me, it's always been a deal I've never really seen actually happening. albeit he still hasn't signed that contract. And as long as it's still the case where he hasn't signed the contract, I do think the possibility of him leaving is open. But I think coming to Tottenham is going to be a difficult deal to do.
If I'm Gallagher, though, surely the play for Gallagher would be, if he really does want to stay at Chelsea, to hang around one more year. And and if he doesn't get that contract, then he has his big signing on bonus, anything he wants at the end of this next season.
Yeah, it keeps him in control.
Next up, let's talk about a player that we're watching now in the Albania game, which is Christian Asslani of Inter Milan. Inter publication called Inter Live saying that Spurs could look at Serie A again and have identified Inter Milan's Christian Asslani as a target. Inter Live say the midfielder has several admirers, particularly attention needs to be paying to Tottenham. The Albania international has clocked up 1,156 minutes from 32 games last season. Despite this, the player, who has a deal till 2027, insists he is happy at the San Siro. However, Inter Live say the Italian champion need at least 35 to 40 million euros to sanction his sale in the summer window. They add these figures they say that these figures are certainly within the reach of the North London club, but they could carry out a swap deal, including Radu Dragusin. What would you say to that? That's what this says.
Come on, what's going on?
Craziness.
Because Stefan de Vrij is leaving the San Siro this summer.
I'm not going to sell Dragusin to England Asllani, surely, in a swap deal. No. Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, unless we're certain this guy could be the future number 6. I have to say, watching him, he has been impressive. So I can see why they like him. But I don't think it makes sense to let go of Dragusin, who, if we're talking about who's been impressive in the Euros, I don't think Asllani could hold a candle to what Dragusin showed in his first game. So why would we let go of Dragusin and swap him right now? That doesn't make any sense to me. Albeit, if you're Dragusin and Inter are telling you, look, come to us, you're going to be our number 1 centre-back, could he have his head turned after 6 months? His agent seems to be in his ear, that's for sure.
That's tempting.
That's the thing.
That could be tempting. But yeah, no, we've got to do our utmost to keep Radu. I think this is just paper talk, really.
Yeah, I think so.
Nothing
But in terms of Asllani as a player, though, we're watching him right now. It's half-time of the Croatia-Albania game. What's your thoughts?
I like him. He seems like a decent young talent. Is he going to be that player that takes us to the next level? For me, right at this second, no. Maybe in the future, he could develop into that player. But for me, we need to be signing players that improve our first 11, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're not improving the first 11, then you're bringing something to that squad. And for me, he's not the guy that will do that.
Mm. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Sebastian Szymanski of Fenerbahce. Give Me Sports say Mourinho could face a battle on his hands to keep one of his stars in Sebastian Szymanski. According to Give Me Sports, Spurs are a club to watch for the Pole's signature this summer alongside Lazio and Marseille. Mourinho is keen to keep the midfielder, and as he does have 3 years left on his deal in Istanbul. He's a player that's clocked up a lot of goal contributions this year in the Turkish league, but we all know the Turkish league and the Premier League are two different kettles of fishes.
Yeah, obviously, if we were to sign him, it would be back up to Madison, I'd assume. 21 goal contributions at 25 years of age in the Turkish league is still nothing to be sniffed at, but is it something that I'm going to be sitting here saying we need to bring him in, like he's the guy? I can't tell you that. I can't sit here and say I've seen too much of him. But he does seem a player, from I'm looking at some of his data, does seem to perform quite well and does get a lot of goal contributions. So maybe we've seen some under some value in the market if he's at a good price. But I think, if they want to bring him in, why not? But I hope they don't pay too much for him, that's all.
Yeah, if you're going to bring him in Szymanski, 25 years of age, you expect him to come in and hopefully hit the ground running whenever he does get those minutes. But we were speaking on the watch along just now about, players like Jamie Donnelly who can come in and potentially are ready to make an impact in the first team. And I feel like if we're going to bring in him and, spend a significant fee, probably like 15 to 20, 25 million, I'll probably prefer just to give Donnelly the chance.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you, Ben, completely. I don't know too much about this player, to be quite honest with you guys, but taking a risk on someone from Turkey, that age, it just doesn't make sense to me. You use that money there that you would spend and you bring in the likes of an Eze, the likes of an Elise. That player that is, yes, you're paying a lot of money, but you're getting that quality in return. You know exactly what you're getting as well. Premier League proven, scoring goals, affecting games. Here, you're taking a punt. And honestly, guys, you know, I was thinking about it last night. We've taken too many punts over the last decades that have just, honestly, they've caused so much harm. If you just think of Ndombele, that one signing, and now we can name another 20 Ndombeles. So that's why it's so key for this window that we get it dead on.
Yeah.
We don't mess anything up.
Absolutely. And that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comments section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we did bring to you today.